Okay. So, stored procedure is nothing but collection of SQL statements. Okay. It can be any statement. So inside a stored procedure, we do not have any kind of restrictions, guys. Okay. So we can use temporary tables, we can call CTE, we can call synonym, we can call view, we can perform DML operations, we can call functions, we can call other store procedures in this main store procedures. Okay, we can use the input parameters, we can declare the variables. Yeah, and we can we can do any also there is something called error handling. So using store procedure we can do error handling. We can call all type of functions, whatever functions we do have, both system defined and user defined functions, everything can be called. Okay, and you can perform if else conditions, if exist conditions. Yeah, and you can also perform that while loop condition, CTE, and all the indoors ranking aggregate, anything can be done inside store procedure. There is no restriction at all, that much of flexibility it will be. Yeah, so till now whatever concepts we learned, right? So everything will just call inside a store block and in a sequential manner. Okay, so we'll not keep the statements here and there. So according to the requirements, so we'll call each and every statements or a concept, and then we'll implement the store process. And will not create a store procedure in a day in the real time. So keep on the requirements will come and it will gonna change sometimes. Okay, and step by step we'll build the store process. Okay, it's not one day. If it is a simple store procedure, yes, we'll maybe there is 1 or couple of days to finish it. Okay, so but if it is very big or complex, so it will take sometimes 15 days, a month of time also. Okay, so I'm pretty much sure like in real time 99% the store process has been already built. Yeah, you need to work on the existing one. Maybe you may get a chance to work on the new store process. Okay, so in new projects actually. Yeah, maybe in sometimes in existing projects also you may have interaction to develop this store procs. Yeah, but it's very rare case. Okay, yeah, now I'll show you how to build a store proc and what is the purpose of it. Yeah, so the syntax would be create procedure. You can put complete keyword or you can just say proc. Okay, create proc procedure name. Okay, and as like your function will we can create the parameters, and it is not mandatory to have it. So without parameters also we can able to create the procedure. Okay, and if there is no parameters, right, this open and close bracket is not required at all. Usually in function it is required, no, with or without parameters, correct?
Yes.
But here it is not mandatory. So directly you can keep as begin and end. You can write whatever statements you want. Okay, you no need to put open and close brace. But when we have this input parameters, right, then we can go ahead with this open and close brackets. Clear? Yeah. And as begin and begin, between begin and end you can do anything, no issues. Okay, you can do anything. And in a function, right, so there is a mandatory thing like it should return a value, right? It can be a table result set or it can be a variable result set. That is mandatory, no? But procedure is not like that. It may or may not return a value. Okay, so it can return or it cannot return. It's not mandatory to return a value in the procedure. Okay, understand? And I can show you on what scenarios will go for with and without returning a value for a procedure. Okay, yeah. So see, there is no classifications in the procedure but just to simplify in a real time, what kind of store procedures you do have means what kind of logics they will return in the store procedures means. So there are three kind of logics they will write inside a store procs. Okay, one is SP with SP means store procedure. Okay, SP with only select queries and sorry, with input parameters. Okay, so here we won't do any kind of manipulations or nothing. It's simply select query like your function. Okay, we'll pass parameters and we'll filter something and we'll just return through the select query. Okay, so you may have a doubt that sir already function is doing the same kind of stuff. Why again a store procedure is required? Correct? Yeah. So because the store procedure has many advantages, and I'll show you. One particular case we'll go for a function. Okay, and I'll give you that scenario. What is exactly it will be? Yeah, and the second one will be SP with only DML operations on top of physical tables. Okay, so sometimes what will happen once you dump the data into the tables, right? So client may give us some logics, okay, which we need to apply on the physical tables. Okay, in such cases we'll define all the DML operations inside the proc. Okay, now once you dump the data, no, we'll just run that store proc. So it won't return anything, but it will just do the DML operations. Okay, it won't return any data. It will just run the DML operations, and according to that, the physical table will gonna affect. That's it. Okay, so here it won't return any data. So in real time point of view, this scenario will be very less actually. Okay, I can say maximum 5% will use this scenario, because whatever we want, all the DML operations, right? Everything can be done in the SSIS itself. Okay. Yeah. So this case will be very less. Mostly the first case and then third case will be useful. Yeah. Now SP with temp table and on top of it DML operations. Okay, and returning the output. Okay, I can say this will be kind of 60% will be used in the real time point of view, and this will be 40%. Okay, understand?
Yes.
Yeah. So these are the kind of logics we'll keep it in the store process guys. Okay, sometimes you need to only select the data inside the store box, and you need to create a proc procedure. Okay, and sometimes you need to dump the data from the physical table to temporary table, and on top of it we'll do whatever logics we want. Okay, so we'll see first and third case. Okay, second case I don't think so it will required for us, but still I can explain to you what exactly they will do in this second case. Okay. Yeah. The syntax will be create procedure name, open and close brace, all the input parameters. Okay. Now as begin, here we'll write the select query. Let's say select star from some table name where my column name equals to at the rate of input parameter. Okay, so this is how it will be. It looks like your function only, but in the function will just keep return keyword, correct?
Yes.
Because it has to return something, whereas for store procedure it may or it may not, right? So that's why I haven't keep any return keyword. Simply I had put the select statement. Clear? So once you create this store proc, okay, so it will just save all these SQL statements, Now, if you want to run the store proc, right? Usually function will write select star or select function name, correct? But store poser, it is not like that. Store poser will execute by using exec statement, execute statement it is called as. Okay, exec, your procedure name, and then your parameters. Okay, and then values, whatever values you want to pass. This will execute a store process. Okay, not with a select statement, but exec command. And without exec also you can run, no issues. Okay, so usually the system defined store procedure, how we were executing sp underscore rename in single quote, will put old table name, comma, new table. So here old table and new table will be called as what?
That input parameters.
Yes, input parameters, and this is the system defined store procedure. And they had written some logic inside it. Okay, the same store procedure you can execute by using exec command also, there is no problem in it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and for these store procedures and all, the logic has been already defined by the Microsoft. So maybe you can see the logics in the system defined store procedure. You go and just search for that store proc under system defined. Can you see sp underscore rename, sp underscore rename db? So you can click on modify. Okay, can you see create procedure name, and the schema name they have defined as sys, because it is a system defined one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's why they created a new schema, and with that schema they are creating the store procedure. But the default schema will be
DBO.
for any object in SQL Server, the default schema would be DBO only. Okay. Yeah. Now you see this is a one of the object name, means old object name, which old table name, and this is the new table name. These are the two mandatory parameters, and third parameter also they declared, but they're passing it as a null. Okay, so two parameters are enough to execute this store proc. And you can see there is a lot of logic has been written. If you want, you can go through with that, that's fine. Okay, but most probably whatever we discussed, okay, so they have written, I mean, they have used the same functions. Okay, can you see we have discussed about raise error function, we also discussed about commit and is null, if conditions, if else conditions. Yes, all whatever we discussed, the same thing they're using. Okay, so anyway, you no need to go through with that. If you want, you can just see how they have written the logics, everything. Yeah, so whenever you pass that old object name and new object name, what will happen? So inside it will go and run this logic, and it will just, so is it returning anything, this store poser? If I go and execute, is it returning anything?
No.
No, it's not.
Just rename it, that's it, correct?
Yeah.
Can you tell me such kind of store poser will fall under what, which case?
Second one.
Exactly. Okay, second one. Okay. Yeah. So all your system defined store procedures will fall under this only. Okay. sp underscore rename, sp underscore refresh view, sp underscore rename db. Okay. And sp underscore help, sp underscore help text. So all these are all fall under you only. Okay. It won't return any data for us. Okay.
While executing
Mm-hmm.
the schema name is not required.
For this one, so I think this is the defaultly system defined one, right? I don't think so it is required, but still if we keep it also, it will still execute. So why the sys is not required? No, it is defined by the Microsoft, right? So what they will do, whenever you are running any store procedure, they will initially they will go and check it in this with the SYS, that schema. Okay, defaultly. That is how they have written the program. Okay. Yeah, and as it is a default one, you need not to specify particularly, like your DBO. Okay. Now you can see if I go and remove that filters, can you see there are so many store procedures? All are system defined ones. Okay. And anyway, we'll not use all the system defined store procedures for our case. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If you want, you can just open and you can check, no issues. Yeah. Okay. We'll come back to our store proc. Yeah. Now how to execute the store proc means, so you can simply put exe, try to keep exec command so that we can understand it is a procedure. Yeah. And one more thing is, if there is no parameters, okay, simply you can select your procedure name and execute it without exec. Okay. Understand?
Come again. Last
Yeah.
point.
What I'm saying is, so this there is no parameter, let's say. Okay. In such a case, we will execute exe procedure name. So this is also fine. Or simply use just select the procedure name and execute it. That is also fine. Okay. So no need of exe state. I mean, it is not mandatory, but I recommend you to keep the exe just to identify it's a store proc. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So can you write down the abbreviation for store procedure? So we'll go step by step because there are many things are there to discuss about store proc. Yeah, write down. Store procedure is a collection of SQL statement Store procedure is a collection of SQL statements Store procedure is a collection of SQL statements which we will write it in a sequential manner. Which we will write in a sequential manner. Write it in a sequential manner. Is that done? Okay. Can you please take down these things? See, these are not classifications. Okay. I'm just giving you what kind of logics will put it inside a store proc. Write down these three cases. And you no need to worry, okay, because you learned all the concepts, right? So if you sit and understand that store proc, how much big it is, that's fine. If you sit and understand for a week of time, so it will be very easy. Okay. In real time, your store procedure may contain 1,000, 2,000, 6,000, 7,000, 10,000 lines also. Okay. But you no need to worry. Why? Because the seniors or team leader will explain to you what is the purpose of that store proc. Okay, not technically, guys, but they will explain what is the purpose of it, what exactly the store proc will do. Yeah. And definitely you can able to understand. It's not a very big deal, even it is 10 or 20,000 lines. Okay. Write down these three cases, and after that, I mean, make a side heading syntax and create the syntax. And here you can just put how to syntax to execute a
Yeah, it's done.
It's done.
Yeah.
What about others?
Done, sir.
Sorry.
Done, sir.
Done, sir. Done, sir.
Just a minute. Huh? Yeah. Sorry. So, yeah, let me just show you one thing. We'll go for this case one. Okay. Case one. I'll show you the main difference between your function and store block. Table valued function. Okay. So this is the function which we created, right? So job title is our parameter and we have just passed over. Okay. Now, how do you define a stored procedure? Okay, to achieve the same information. Okay. So let me show you. Create procedure and procedure name. I'll just keep. See, usually the procedure name will start with. Okay. So USP, user defined stored procedure. Okay, user defined store procedure, or sometimes people will go for HTTP underscore store procedure. Okay, but don't go with SP underscore. Why? Because our system defines a function. I mean, store procedures will start with what?
SP.
SP only,
SP.
right?
Yeah.
So the problem with this, keeping this SP underscore, no, whenever you're executing, it will first go and it will assume that it's a system defined store procedure. Okay, and it will keep on go and check all the system defined store procedure. If it is not able to find, then it will come back to our system defined, I mean user defined store procedures. Understand?
Yeah.
So that's why. So do not make a habit of SP, but go for STP or ESP. This will be good. Okay. ESP underscore. Okay. Get employee detail. Let's say this is my store prop, and the procedure name is, sorry, the parameter name is job title. So you can keep anything. So the date of birth, genders, any parameters you can take. No issues. And begin and end. Now let me copy the same select query over here as well. along with the where clause. I can show you the exact difference between your function and store block. Okay. Yeah. Can you see? I have written a select statement, and have I mentioned any return statement in my store block?
No, no.
Any disturbance from my end? No, no, right?
No.
Do you have any disturbance from my end?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, fine. So I'm just creating the store block with a select query along with a where clause. Right now, if you want to go and execute this store block, okay. So what we will do, we'll just keep that parameter. Okay. So you should not put open and close brackets for your parameters in case of store block. Okay, for function it is mandatory, but store block you should not keep it. Can you see we are getting the result set? In the similar way, to execute the function, what we will do?
Enter, but we will go for return.
Return.
Yeah, there is a return statement, but for execution, select star from your
That,
function name
braces.
Schema cum function.
and design engineer. Correct?
Yeah.
Are we getting the same result set?
Yes.
Okay. Now, then why do we prefer to go for a store poser means? Okay. Let me just explain to you. See, when you create any store poser, what SQL Server will do is, okay, it will just store all the statements whatever we had kept inside it. Okay. Whenever you are creating a store poser, it will save all the queries. Right now, when you try to execute for the very first time, okay, when you're executing your store poser for the first time, what SQL Server will do is it will go and run all the statements inside that store block. Okay. Also, how much see to execute to run this statement, it requires some CPU cost. Correct?
Yes.
Yes or no? CPU is the object which will do all the things, right? Even your RAM. Correct?
Yeah.
So what SQL Server will do is whenever you're executing for the very first time, so to run this select statement and get the data and store it in a memory and again return something in the output. Okay. So it required some CPU cost and RAM memory, and there is some parameters called input output cost, subtree cost. There are so many elements are there. Ramesh will tell you what is exactly those elements. Okay. So as of now, you can assume that CPU and memory. Okay. So how much it is required? No, in the first execution time, SQL Server will analyze it. Okay, and it will store it in the name of execution plan. Do you remember yesterday we discussed about? I have said about this execution plan in user-defined functions.
Yeah, yes.
User-defined will not have this execution plan, right? Yeah. So whenever you are executing a store block, what SQL Server will do is it will compile all the statements, whatever it is written inside the store block, and each and every statement. Okay, how much it required that CPU cost and memory. Okay, so basically it's called as execution plan. Yeah, it consists of so many elements there. Yeah, so how much it is required? No, everything it will analyze and it will save it under a execution plan. Okay, it all happens in the backend. Okay, it all happens in the backend. So now what is the purpose of this execution plan is now next time, second time, whenever you are executing your store proc, no, the SQL Server will directly reuse this execution plan, which means it won't again analyze how much CPU or the memory is required. It won't analyze again. So already it knows, right? How many, how much is required. So directly it will reuse that execution plan and it will execute it. Understand?
Yeah.
So maybe I can give you, a normal example which everyone can understand. Let's say to construct a building, maybe some 15 floors building. Okay. So as an engineer, I know how many people are required. Okay. Initially, this is the first time I'm building. Okay. So now what I did is, so I have taken 100 resources to construct these 15 floors. Okay. And the time period will be, let's say, 6 months here. Right. So all these things, for the first time, I need to analyze it, right? How many resources are required, how much duration it will take, okay, how much money is required, what is the iron, okay, and how much iron is required, and then cement, okay, sand, everything, okay, risks, everything, right? Now,
Yeah.
if I'll get the same contract again, okay, do I need to do this analyzation again?
It's not.
Not required, right?
Yeah.
As an engineer, already I have analyzed everything for my previous work, okay, and I have all the design things, correct? So now I no need to sit and again analyze everything, right? So see, first of all, here we will save our time, correct? Mainly, see, at least to design all these things, he may require some days, correct? Okay, but now for the first time he has analyzed and he knows it what exactly needs to be done to construct that 15 floors within 6 months. Now for the second time and all, he can apply the same plan over here now.
Yes.
Correct. See, maybe the design might be different, okay, for the 15 floors, but to finish these 6 months, okay, so roughly we can use the same plan, right?
Yes.
So now it's very easy, right? So instead of again reconstructing the plan, okay, we are reusing it so that we can save our time, first of all. Okay, not only time. See, if we reconstruct that, right, maybe your plan might be wrong, correct? Maybe you're putting more money or you're applying more resources also, right? So if I have already a plan, if I'm reusing it, I can save our time, everything basically, right? So same case in the procedure also. First time it will, whenever you're executing, it will analyze how much the memory time and CPU cost, input cost, subtree cost. Okay, these are all the elements actually. So everything it will save under this execution plan. Okay, everything will save under execution plan. So whenever you're executing the second time or third time, fourth time, fifth time, right? So what it will do, it will reuse that execution plan, which means it won't analyze again how much it is required. It knows it how much it has to allocate. The same it will go and allocate to run this SQL query. Understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, but in case of function, no, whenever you're executing your function, okay, this execution plan won't get saved. This execution plan won't get saved. So now what will happen when I'm executing a store clock? Sorry, a function.
Will again and again execute.
Yes,
that.
for every execution, what it will do?
It will,
It will
create
recreate that plan, correct?
Yeah.
It will recreate that execution plan for every execution. So meaning every time whenever I'm constructing the building, I'm just putting for constructing the same building. So I'm just rebuilding the plan again and again and again. So which will be time taking process, right?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Are you getting it? What I'm trying to say? So now which one will be better?
Stored procedure.
Store procedure will be better, correct?
Yeah.
Then why they have introduced the function here? If store procedure is beating, see, both are doing the same in this case, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then why they have introduced a function or this store block? if both are doing the same thing and the procedure is far better than this function. Okay, I'll give you the exact example, I mean scenario. It is very important, guys. Okay, very important, because store procedure functions differences they will ask. Okay, and they'll ask, like, if both are doing the same thing in this particular case in the select query, forget about DML, because DML we cannot perform in function, no,
Yeah.
and of
Yeah.
physical table. Okay, that is one difference. But the main difference between your store proc and your function, okay, would be this one, whatever I'm going to explain. If you tell this point, no, he'll never question anything about your store proc and function. Okay, getting it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just show you. Okay, I'm just altering the store proc. So now whenever I'm executing a store proc, sorry, let's talk about function. Let me write it over here so that you'll not get confused. I'm just talking about user defined function. What is the main difference? Okay, so now in this store, in this function, right, whenever I'm executing, how many job titles I can pass at a time? Tell me.
One.
Only one.
Only one, correct?
Yeah.
Only one. Now if I want to pass one more job title, is it possible to pass?
No.
Is it possible to pass one more job title? Let me just take the job title. Everyone is following, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So now I'm just putting one more job title here. Okay. So design engineer, comma, senior tool. See, you should not pass, single quotes like this. It will throw an error. Okay. So you have to pass comma separated values. Understand? So
Yes.
whenever you're passing something like this, your parameter will take everything. See, between single quote, it will be considered as one string, correct?
Yes.
So the entire job title will be go on, put it in this job title. Same thing, it will get passed in your where class as well. Understand?
Okay.
Here it will be passed like this. Do you have any job title with this name? Design engineer, comma, senior tool engineer? No, definitely no. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what? So in this case, what you need to do is you need to write a subquery to filter the data, all the values, all the design engineers, all the senior tool engineers. Okay, to do that, what we can do is, first of all, it is not in operator equals to operator. It is in, because multiple values are coming here. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes. I'll just remove. And in the subquery level, no, what exactly I'll do is, okay, in the parameter level, we are getting the comma separated values, correct?
Yes.
So how we can able to convert this comma to row?
Split function.
Sorry,
Split.
can you use the split function?
Yeah.
Okay, select the column name for your split function. We have put it as value, I think. Value or name? Split function. Let me just check.
Name, sir.
Name?
Name.
Let me just call out your function. Right click, modify. See, modify means it won't modify. Okay, until unless you go and execute it. Okay, so what is the variable we have? Yeah, it is a name column, correct? And your split function is required. How many parameters? 2 parameters. Am I correct?
Oh,
Yes.
So your function also act like a table only, right? Because it is returning a table result set. Am I correct?
Yes.
So can I keep like select name from your function, and parameters should be what? 2 parameters, correct?
Yes.
Design.
So what is the first parameter? You just go and check. So what is the first parameter in your function?
String
and separator.
One is string, right?
Yes.
And then separator, correct?
Separate.
Okay.
Correct. So that string, anyway, it is an input parameter. No, this job title only, right?
Yes.
Can I directly call that value over here in place of string?
Yes.
Okay. And the separator, anyway, I'll just hard code. Okay. If it is not hard coded value, what you can do? You can again declare a parameter here and pass from this function. Okay. Understand? So meaning you can just put a one more parameter. Let's say char of 1 and pass this parameter, okay, in place of this hard coded value. So whenever it is executing this query, what exactly it will do? First it will go to from, then it will run all the on one by one on class, then join conditions, correct?
Yes.
Then it will go to where. In a where class, it will go and run this query. This function. Yes or no?
Yes.
So when it is running this function, what exactly it will return? Tell me. When I'm passing two job titles, what exactly it will return? Tell me.
Design engineer and
So
senior
design
tool.
engineer and senior tool engineer, it will divide into two rows. Am I correct?
Yeah.
It will divide into two rows because my split is splitting that comma into rows, correct? So now my job title can easily filter that records, right? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
So let's see whether it will run or not. I am going to alter this function. Are you following?
Yeah.
Okay, see here, usually as I gave an example for subquery, we have written what select a column name from a table name, correct?
Yes.
But here I'm taking a function because my function also returning a data, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah. Let's see if my function is returning both, okay, insufficient arguments. So why is it so?
Because of separator.
We need
Yes,
separator.
separator also we need to pass because we have added one more parameter, correct?
Yeah.
So if I'm going executing, can you see this, guys? We do have both design engineer as well as senior tool engineer.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
So whenever you're passing comma separated values in where class, we cannot directly filter it. It's not possible. So what you need to do? We have to use a split function to split that comma separated values into rows and then do the filtration using subquery. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is very, very important, guys. Everywhere, wherever you go in the real time. Okay. So mostly 99.9%, the client will always expect him to pass the multiple values always. Okay, multi-selection. So whenever he is doing multi-selection, so it will come as a comma separated values. Okay. So definitely we need to filter it. So this is the best way to use this split function. Okay. Whenever they are passing in the input parameter multiple values, how do you use as a filter? Go for a split function and subquery. Clear? Very important, and ekkadaina ellandi, they'll be using this logic always. Any questions, anyone? Any questions? Please let me know. It's very important concept. Anyone have any doubts? No doubts? No doubts?
No.
In the
Nandini,
output,
can you explain me what exactly it is happening here? Nandini, are you there? Yeah, we can't hear you. Mahesh. Mahesh,
Yes, sir.
can you explain me what exactly it is happening here? What we did now?
Here we taken split function. Already we defined this one.
Okay. Why do we take the split function?
It separated the string functions by sum.
Can you elaborate it?
Mm,
Why do we take this split function? Anyway, it will split it. Okay. Then
Yes,
why it is splitting? Why do we need to split?
because we want to recur from more departments. More
Okay.
than
So basically they're giving multiple departments or job titles, correct?
yes, sir.
Yeah. If it is a single, so this split function is not required. Directly you can put job title equals to at the rate of job title. Okay.
Yes, yes.
If it is more than one job title, definitely split function will help us to
Yes.
split the comma into rows, and then we can filter out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any questions, please let me know.
If a split function is not exist means we need to create a split
Yes,
function.
we need to, I gave that logic, right? Okay, you go and create it and reuse it. So definitely if it is more, I mean, if you're using 2012 version or 2016 version, definitely it will be there, that split function. String underscore split function will be there. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So in place of this, what you can do, you can just say string underscore split. This is a system defined function, but here it is not name. I think it is value something. Okay. Understand?
Yeah.
So otherwise you can create our function and then you can use it, the user defined function. Clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we
Now-
use star there in place of name
Here,
or value?
Yes, sir. It should.
Okay, let's see whether it will work or not. I'll just show you, because yesterday I said one point. Is it working? It's working because your star means how many columns?
All
Column means all column. Here
All
we
columns.
have
But
only
how
one
many
column.
columns there in your inside function? Your
Only
logic.
Only one.
Only one.
Only
One
one.
column we defined in the table variable. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's fine actually. If it is a single column, keeping star doesn't make any difference. Okay. But if you have more number of columns, definitely it will throw an error. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's better go for a column name, according to me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Getting it?
Yeah. So now you said about only functions, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, like.
Yeah. We are discussing only functions, about the function.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not discussing anything about store proc. Let everyone understand this logic so that I can show you the difference.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone have any difficulty to understand this logic?
No, sir.
No? Okay. Can you read out the point regarding the user defined functions? I think it is 6th or 7th point. Can someone read out that point?
A function can call as an inner query.
Sorry?
A function can call as an inner query.
Yes. Yeah, I think this is the one, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Inner query, we are able to calling the function, no?
Yeah.
So it is satisfied, right?
Yeah.
Next point, please.
Inside a
Inside a
function, we can call text and image data.
Okay, next point.
A function can't store execution plan.
Next point.
Using a function, we can't do error handling.
Next point.
Inside a function,
Inside a function, we can call other function.
Can you repeat it?
Inside a function, we can call other function.
Can you see this now? He is a fn underscore VE employee. He is a inline statement valued function, correct?
Yes.
Inline table valued function. And in this, right, am I able to call the MTVF multi-statement table valued function?
Yes.
Yes.
Which means inside a function we can call
Another function.
Other function. It can be scalar function, it can be multi-statement, no issues. Okay. Still we can able to call it. And how many?
Up to 32.
32.
32.
Up to 30.
Okay.
32.
Yeah. So not only in a where class, guys, not only in the where class, even while joining also you can use your function, no issues. Okay. While joining also you can use your function, no issues at all. Right. Now let me show you. No questions, right, in this?
Yeah, we have.
Clear? No?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Now let me just show you. Let's say they are passing date of births as well. Okay. Here one more parameter, birth date. Okay. And they're also saying this is also multi-parameter, multi-value parameter. What about other one, above one? That is also same, right? Multi-value parameter means multiple values it should accept.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what you can do, tell me. We need to filter date of birth also, right?
Yes.
Now how do you write the query here? And the client can able to
And-
pass multiple
and-
date of births.
And job
birth date.
title.
E dot,
Birthday.
Job title.
it's not
Birth
birth
date.
job title. You need to filter it in birth date, right?
Birth date.
Yeah, birth date.
Birth date equal to
Equals to
No, in only.
in only. See, they're able to pass multiple parameters here. Okay, multiple values. What you need to do?
Select.
Can I call this the same
same
function?
Yes.
We can able to call the same function, but in this, in the place of job title, what exactly will come?
At the rate birth date.
Exactly at the rate of
Birth date.
birth
birth
date.
date.
Understand? So now you can pass multiple date of birth. Okay, and definitely you will get it if it is satisfied. Now both the conditions needs to be satisfied, correct? Yes or no? So now I'm able to call one more function. I mean, as I said, 32 is the limitation, right? Now we are able to call two functions here, correct?
Yeah.
So if the client is passing only single date of birth means it is not multi-parameter, it is only single value. Do I require to call this function over here?
No.
Not required. So what is the logic in that case?
E dot birth date equal to at the rate birth date.
Yes. Can I keep something like this directly?
Yes.
Okay. If it is a single value equals to at the rate of birth date, if it is more than one value,
We'll go for
definitely you need to call out this, correct?
Yes.
Understand?
yes.
Yes. Now let's come back to the store proc. Okay. So your store proc also, one second. Okay. This is the function which is returning some data for us, correct? Let me export it. Yeah. Now, I'm going to create a function. Sorry, not function. Store procedure. Sorry. Create procedure. Okay. For a split. Okay. I'm creating a store proc. Understand? So sp underscore s, not sp, usp underscore split function. Okay. And what is the parameters? Everything remains same, no?
Yes.
Whatever you define, the same thing you can define over there as well. Okay, I'll just copy paste everything, and I'll tell you what exactly needs to be changed. Because as I said, whatever we can able to define in a procedure also we can define same. See, create procedure name. You can define variables, and you no need to I mean returns anything because it's not mandatory, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So as begin. Okay. But you need to declare the variable. is mandatory, the table variable. Okay.
Yes.
Now the remaining things are same, declaring, set, while loop, everything is same. And do you require this written?
No.
Not
No.
required. But have you written any select statement to see the data in the output in the variable anywhere?
No.
No, right?
No.
So to do that, you need to write select star from your at the rate of output. Same thing, guys, like in a function, whatever we define the same thing, but the only thing I have removed both the returns. Okay.
Yes.
And in place of returns variable declaration, I have put a declare statement, because until unless we go and declare a table variable inside a store proc, it won't get defined. Okay. And remaining things are same, declaring, set, while loop, condition, insert into this, and selecting out. And I'm just creating the store proc now. And how to execute this?
Store proc name.
Yeah, so one second. Yeah, how to execute this? exec, correct?
Yeah.
Your procedure name
Your name.
and both the parameters
Parameters.
and values, correct?
Yes.
So what you can do is your parameters, and first thing, what is the value? This design engine is correct. Let me keep the values over here, and the separator would be comma. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And if I go and execute this, can you see? I can see design engineer, senior engineer as a rows.
Yes.
And if I go and remove this select statement in my store proc, let's say, okay. In my store browser, where is the store browser? 1 second. Where is that? This one, right? Okay. So if I remove that select statement here, or I will comment it, okay. So as I said, when you comment, it won't get executed, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I just executed it, and I'm going to run this statement. Is it returning anything?
No.
No, because there is no select query, right?
Yeah.
So what this will do, it will just insert the data into table variable. Okay, and as there is no select statement, it won't return anything. So meaning the store poser may or may not return a value, right? It's not mandatory, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that point also satisfied. But anyway, I'll just remove that comment and let me execute it. Now you see, like your function, like your split function, your store poser split function also giving the same result set, correct? Hello.
Yes.
Like
Yes,
your
sir.
split function, your store poser also is splitting the data, right?
Correct.
Okay. So let's see, can we whether we can call the store proc in place of this function or not? Okay. Understand what I'm trying to say? So your function and store proc both are splitting the data, right?
Yes.
But in a select statement, whether we can call that store proc or not, we'll see. Can you see? When I'm able to calling exec your store poser name and parameter values and all these things, it is throwing an error, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So meaning in a direct select statement, in a direct means this is the direct select statement, okay? Or in a select statement also it is fine. In a select statement, we can call a function, okay, either in a subquery or a derivatable or in a join, okay? So in a select statement, we can call your function, whereas the store poser, we cannot directly call it over here because this is a exec statement. It is a select statement. Okay. So select queries can be called, okay, in a select statements, but exec statements we cannot call. Understand?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yes, sir.
EXEC statements we cannot directly call inside these subqueries or something. Okay, but select queries can be called. The reason behind why we cannot call the EXEC commands, right? See, are we executing the logic or are we executing a store proc here?
Executing store procedure.
Store pubs.
Executing a store procedure, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So now inside that it has a logic, correct?
Mhm.
Again, it has to go and run that logic and get the result set and filter it, right?
Mhm.
But here directly we are running the select query, means logic itself, correct? So this is possible in case of SQL Server. Logic can be can be executed directly and filtered, whereas like these exec commands, okay, with the store box, we cannot directly call it over here because we are not directly having a logic here, right? In this, so logic has stored inside the store block, right? Inside the store block, and it will gonna execute in the backend. Okay, that is the one reason. The another reason is your store procedure will store the execution plan, right? What about function?
No.
Function won't call, correct? I mean,
Won't.
function will not store any execution plans, correct?
Correct.
So that's why, can you read out the last point in the function?
Inside a function, we can't call stored procedure.
Okay, inside a function we cannot call store procedure. The reason behind that is
Because the store procedure
contains
yes,
logic.
the store
Store
procedure will
procedure
store
is
the execution plan, but the
execution.
function cannot
Function
store
does
that. Okay,
not
now?
exist.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now because of that reason, the function will not allow you to call your store procedure over there. Okay, understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now let me just clear it to you. So the main difference between your store procedure and function is, okay, whenever they'll ask, what is the main difference and what situation you'll go for a function and what situation you'll go for a store procedure means, what you need to tell is, so whenever I defined a function, okay, whenever I defined a function and that result set, if I want to call in a subquery or a derived table or maybe in a join condition, then I'll go for a user defined function. Let me repeat. Okay, I'm talking about user defined function. Whenever I defined a function, okay, for an example, the split function. Where is this? Yeah, whenever, okay, this is not function, right? Yeah, whenever I defined a function, okay, now the output of this function, if I need to use it in a select statement, okay, so where exactly we used,
Subquery.
Joining.
can you see I have called this function in a select statement as a subquery, correct? So whenever I defined a function and if I want to use that output in any of the select queries or any subqueries or derived table, so then we'll go for the function. Okay, now in this case, will the store procedure will help us?
No, sir.
No.
No, right? Definitely no, correct? I cannot call my direct exec command in a select query, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
so in that case, definitely my store procedure will not help us. And if they'll ask on what situation you'll go for a store procedure means, okay, so if my output, if my output, it is not going to use in any of the subqueries or any derived tables and all, then I'll definitely prefer the store procedure only because this is faster, no, compared to this.
Yes.
Yes. If the store procedure output, it is not help us to filter out the data anywhere, or we are not going to use that output any of your select queries, then store procedure would be better. But if I want to filter out the data, the function output data, so then this will be help us. Clear? Any doubts? Very important point, guys. అర్థమైందా అందరికి? Please let me know.
Yeah, we understood.
So can you explain one more time that last one?
Which one? The last one, na?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, the question what it exactly will come is, what is the difference between function and a stored procedure? Means you can explain all the properties, okay? But the question will be, and what situation you will go for user defined function and what situation you will go for a store point. Can you give me those situations? Okay, because in some or other cases, both are doing the same things, correct?
Yes, sir.
In such case, okay, so they are asking a specific scenario. You give me in this scenario, I'll go for this scenario, I'll go for that. Okay, the scenario in case of store user defined function is, okay, if we want to if you want to call the function in a select statement, okay, as a subquery or derived table, then we'll go for function. Okay, now. Okay, or if you want to call
the logic.
yeah, if you want to
Use the logic.
yeah, not reuse, say in another way, if you want to
So joins also call.
yeah, we can perform join also if you want. The output okay, let me frame the sentence properly.
Output of function.
Put up logic.
One second. Statement in a select statement, if we want to filter some data, then function will help us like a subquery or derivative. Is that fine? In a select statement, if you want to filter some data, okay, this is a select query, and if you want to filter some data, okay, then we can call the function will help us like a subquery or a derived table. Whereas we cannot call the store procedure in a direct select statement or select statement. Anything is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so there we can give we are giving, you know, the difference between both user defined and store procedure. And if they'll ask like, can you give me a scenario where exactly you'll go for a store procedure, means, you know, if I don't want to
Filter any.
yeah, use the output to filter out, filter in any of the select queries, then I'll prefer procedure. Correct? If my procedure is giving some data and I don't want to call it in any of the select statements, then my store procedure would be the best preference, because it's reuse the execution plan. Correct?
Yeah.
Understand? Any questions? Okay, whenever I am giving the note, maybe I'll just short out this. Yeah, I'll sort out this point and then we'll write it. Okay. Yeah, tell me.
This last point, we cannot filter out.
Yeah,
not
so which
clear.
means, yeah, see, the store procedure is giving an output, correct?
Yes.
Whenever you're executing a store proc, where is that execution statement? Yeah, so your store procedure, whenever I'm executing, it is also giving this result set, correct?
Correct.
Now we cannot call, okay, we cannot call this exec command in a way select class. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we cannot.
Yes. So now when exactly we'll go for a store procedure means, if such scenarios is not came into the picture, means I don't want to filter this data in select query, then definitely instead of function, I'll prefer the store procedure only, because it will re-execution plan, and compared to function, it will be faster. Okay. And if I want that output should be filtered out in, or if I want the data to be reused in any of the cases, definitely I'll prefer the function only.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions? Any questions? No. మీకు ఇంకా సింపుల్ గా కావాలి అంటే okay, this is true or false, this case.
This is a different.
This is a true case, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So yeah, so your function is acting like a subquery here. So if such kind of scenarios will come, I'll go for a function. Okay, if anywhere, if I want to use these select statements in other select statements, or if I want to use these functions in a select statement, maybe that will be the good okay. Yeah, so we'll go for a function. Whereas your store procedure, I cannot call your store procedure like this, no? Exec, your procedure name.
We cannot.
Okay, your procedure name parameters. This is not possible, correct?
Yes, of course.
And this is a true case. Right now, if there is no scenario to use the output in a direct select query, then we'll prefer SP only. There is no requirement to call the store procedure output in a select statement, means obviously our preference will be SP because of re-executing the plans. I mean reusing the execution plans. Okay. So if there is a situation to use that output in a select query, means we should prefer user defined function. Okay, na?
Yeah.
ఇంకా ఏమన్నా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా?
No.
Anyone? See, ఎందుకు ఇన్నిసార్లు చెప్తున్నానో అర్థం చేసుకోండి. It's very important question. Difference between your function and a store procedure, and in what case you will prefer user defined function, in what case you will prefer SP. I'll wait for another a minute. Let me know if you have questions.
Sir,
Yes, please.
In case of they told give me one example, then above an example can give, sir.
What example?
Like scenario, we can use one example.
He's asking real-time scenario.
Real-time scenario.
Sir.
See, real-time scenario, I mean, you can tell this function, split function itself, okay? Because everywhere this split function will be used.
Okay, sir.
Okay. See, let me tell you one thing. In some of the interviews, they will ask you to write, the stored procedures, okay, which you have written in your project. Understand the question?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
They will ask you to write the stored procedure, okay, in front of them, and whatever you have already written in your project. You tell me, is it a valid question or invalid question? Or is it make sense to write that store block in front of them?
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Why no?
It is lengthy, right?
It's lengthy.
It contains lot of statements.
Sorry.
The stored procedure contains lot of statements.
Exactly. So the point over here is the store procedure contains lot of things, and in a day we haven't written the store procedure, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they will ask us to write the store block which you create in your project, which is very lengthy store procedure or which is complex store process. Okay, and we have taken almost like 15 days, a month of time, right? And they want us to create the store block within that the 10 minutes or 15 minutes of time. It's not it doesn't make any sense, right, to ask that question in the interview, right? You know what I used to do whenever they ask this question? I'll not I'll not pass this question. What I'll do is I'll take the notepad and I'll try to create the store block. Okay, in such a way, create procedure name. I'll declare 10 parameters. Okay, for an example, username, @ server name, @ maybe some product ID, @ some product name, something like that. I'll be declaring some 10 parameters. Okay, and then I'll begin. Then I'll start to declare almost like 200 variables. How much time it will take to declare 200 variables?
Intro time.
Entry is completed.
Yes. So what I will do, I'll just say @ID integer, @A, it will be in integer, @sal, it is a float, min date, and it will be a date, and max date, it will be a date. I'll try to create with a different names, some almost like 200 variables. I did it actually in one of the interview. Then he asked me to show that procedure after some 10 minutes of time. I mean, it's a face-to-face interviews. I'm trying to write down this query, this procedure in the paper. Then whenever he asked me to show that procedure, right, I have shown him, and still I was declaring some 150th variable till that time. Then he is asking why you are declaring those many variables. I said that is what the requirement in our store procedure, whatever I have written in the project. ఇప్పుడు వాడికి ఏం తెలియదు కదా, he doesn't know, right?
Yes.
The purpose of that store block. So I said that we require 200 variables to declare that store block. So that's why I'm declaring those many. ఇప్పుడు ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే కొట్టినట్టే ఉంటుంది, కానీ ఎట్లా అంటే ఇండైరెక్ట్ కొట్టినట్టు ఉంటుంది. Because it doesn't make any sense to write that store block, right, which you are already written, and which is a complex one. If it is a small one, then it is fine, we can create it, right?
Yeah.
If it is a lengthy one, he should not ask that question, right? Yes. That's why I did this in one of the interview. Ante inkem maatladalevaadu asalu. He went for next question. Inkem maatladtadu, anni variables declare chesthe nenu. Okay. Yeah, that is how you should be in some interviews. Okay, not all, but some interviews. Okay, na?
Yeah.
Yeah, you also do the same thing. and one of the guy, his name is Tony, he also did the same thing in Dell. వాడు రాయమన్నాడంట ఆల్మోస్ట్ లైక్ వీడు బై మిస్టేకిన్లీ సెడ్ దట్ ఐ హావ్ రిటన్ 7,000 lines of store park, and he told him to write that store park and you take whatever how much time you want. వాడు కూడా ఇదే చేశాడు. Then he got selected, yeah. And in the interview point of view, you need not to tell real time scenarios. మీరు ఎక్కడ కానీ రియల్ టైమ్ సినారియో అనేది మర్చిపోండి. ఓకే, there is no such kind of real time or real time scenarios. Okay, whatever I gave some online transactions or some Amazon, you give the same example to them. నువ్వు రియల్ టైమ్ లో చేసిందే చెప్పాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. You take some the example whatever so it depends on the Amazon or Flipkart or Book My, so anything you can take an example and you tell them. అక్కడ మనకి కాన్సెప్ట్ కావాలండి. ఓకేనా?
Okay.
అండర్స్టాండ్?
Yes.
ఎస్, దట్స్ హౌ ఇట్ షుడ్ బి. మీరు అడిగినవన్నిటికి నేను ఆన్సర్లు చెప్పుకుంటా కూర్చోాలంటే ఇంటర్వ్యూ వోంట్ హ్యాపెన్. ఓకే, క్లియర్?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's the main difference between your store proc and your function guys. Okay, and there are other small differences also, but this is the main difference. Yeah. So can we write the properties of a store poser?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think these all the points have been cleared, no, on top of a function. I think we have covered everything. Calling multiple functions, and why can't we call the store proc, right? And only one thing is error handling, right?
Okay.
Error handling, we'll discuss it. Yeah. So now what we will do, so we'll write the properties of a store proc. Okay, and then we'll discuss point by point. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you write down properties of a store proc? And whenever they'll ask the difference between function and store proc, you explain these properties. Okay, the properties of function, properties of your store proc is nothing but your differences. Okay.
Yeah.
Write down properties of a store proc. First point, store poser can accept both input and output parameters. మనం ఇంకా అవుట్పుట్ డిస్కస్ చేయలేదు, but function will accept
Only input.
Okay, yeah, a store poser can accept both input and output parameters to 12,000. Okay na, ఇది maximum limitation. Both input output combination, I'm saying up to 12,000.
Combining input and output is 12,000.
Yes, both.
Okay.
Not each, but both.
Okay.
Next point, yeah, store poser will save the execution plan. Store poser will save the execution plan and it will reuse it. One second. Can you frame this point in a different way? 1 second. So store poser will save the execution plan in the first execution. Store poser will save the execution plan in the first execution. And it will reuse the execution plan. And it will reuse the same execution plan. And it will reuse the same execution plan for the next executions. Understand? So first execution law, it will create that execution plan. Okay. In the next executions and all, it will reuse it. Correct? Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And it will
Yeah.
reuse the same execution flow for the next executions. Done? Done, right?
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
Next point. Due to the above region, SP will be much faster. అన్ని కేసెస్ లో కాదండి, కొన్ని కేసెస్ లో మాత్రమే. I mean, this will be much faster in most of the cases, but in some cases it will be slower, and we'll discuss that. Due to the above reason, SP will be much faster. In some of the cases, maybe you can keep. కొన్ని కేసెస్ లో ఫాస్ట్, కొన్ని కేసెస్ లో స్లో ఉంటుంది. Next point. Inside a store proc, or you can keep SP. Inside a SP, inside a SP, we can call temporary tables, table variables, CTEs, all functions, and also we can perform all DML operations as well. We can put views also. Inside a SP, we can call temporary tables, table variables, CTEs, views, etc. etc. And also we can perform all DML operations as well. Done?
Yeah.
Inside a SP, we can call function user defined functions, and child procedures as well.
Sir,
Yes.
what is the mean by the child procedure?
Child store procedure, other store procedures basically.
Now means
Like your
within store
function.
procedure we can
Yes.
call other SP.
Exactly. And we'll discuss all the points.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, done.
Okay, next. Inside an SP, inside a SP, we can call all the data types. So in a function, we have a restriction, no?
Yes, sir.
The image data types we cannot, right? But inside a SP,
Text
we can
and
call
text.
all the data types. Yes, and text also. So inside SP, no restriction. Next. A SP can execute with what?
Without exec.
With exec command, not without. See, exec is not mandatory to keep, but usually we'll execute with exec. But whereas function,
Select
will execute with select.
external.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So a store procedure can execute with exec command, not with a select command. Okay. Next.
Yeah, next one.
SP can execute with exec command. Yeah. Next. Using SP, we can do error handlings using try and catch blocks. Using SP, we can do error handlings using try and catch blocks. Next point. SP can return, SP may or may not return a value in the output. Correct? ASP may or may not return a value in the output. ASP may or may not return a value in the output. Next, is there any other points? Let me just think. Write down. We cannot call the store procedure in a direct select statement. Correct? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Write down. We cannot call the store procedure in a direct select statement. Or you can just say select statement also, it is fine. Finished?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, next, write down next point. We can call up to 32 store procs inside a store procedure. Here also same limitation will be same. Okay.
Subqueries.
Done. We can call up to 32 store procedures inside a register. Okay.
Right, sir.
Yeah. Can you mention in the note these 2 points, please? When exactly we'll go for a user defined function? When exactly we'll go for a function? Store procedure.
Sir, your schema is not mandatory, right? No?
Schema is not mandatory.
Okay.
If you want, you can write down that. Yeah, user defined function in a select statement. If you want to filter data, output data. If you want to filter output data, then function will help us like a subquery table. ఇది గోడ కొడుతున్నారా గోడ కొడుతున్నారా పోలేదా పైకి నువ్వు చెప్తా ఉందా చిని done.
Yes, sir.
Everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tomorrow what we will do is we'll discuss how to create the case one, sorry, not case one, case three, yeah, and how we will use the temporary tables, and then the error handlings, all the things we'll discuss tomorrow. Yeah. So yeah, so I